Hey, 42 here. The world is full of hidden wonders and sights that will blow your mind. Let's go on a journey to some of the weirdest places on Earth. We start in Dawes, Turkmenistan, where a huge fiery crater is known to the locals as the Door to Hell. Whilst drilling at the site in 1971, Soviet geologists tapped into an underground cavern filled with natural gas, but the ground beneath the drilling rig collapsed, leaving a hole 70 meters in diameter. Fearing the cavern would leak poisonous gases, the drilling team decided to burn it up. They hoped it would burn out in a few days, but it's still burning today, over 40 years later. Next to the US. Specifically, Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. Here you will find the world's third largest hot spring, and one of the most beautiful. Named Grand Prismatic Spring, the spring's vibrant colours are caused by its pigmented bacteria. Seasonal temperatures, as well as levels of chlorophyll and carotenoids in the spring, greatly influence the tint of its bacteria, and subsequently its bright colours. Bacteria doesn't form in the centre because the water is too hot to sustain bacterial life. Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia is home to the world's largest salt flat, occupying the area of roughly 10,582 square kilometres. It was created when a prehistoric lake dried up and left a salty crust behind. When it rains, the entire salt flat becomes a giant mirror, and you can walk on top of a near-perfect reflection of the sky. In South America, amongst the Roraima mountain range, sits the tabletop mountain, Mount Roraima. It's one of the oldest geological formations on Earth, dating back over 2 billion years. It serves as a triple border between Brazil, Venezuela and Guyana. Its 400-metre tall cliffs have meant it's been cut off from human interaction for most of history. Subsequently, the mountain's upper plateau has its own unique ecosystem, and a staggering 30% of all the plant and animal species are endemic to the mountain, which means they can only be found on this mountain and nowhere else on Earth. But Mount Roraima isn't the only place on Earth with an isolated ecosystem. Such places are countless, but one of the most interesting is Socotra in Yemen, which is a small archipelago in the Indian Ocean. Because it's so isolated, 1/3 of its plant life is found nowhere else on the planet, such as the dragon's blood tree, named after its blood-red sap. Have you ever wanted to step inside a glacier? In Skaftafell, Iceland, there's an ice cave within glacier ice. This unique cave is a result of a glacial mill, which is a hole inside a glacier. Water flows down through the hole and eventually melts the ice to form a large cave. Because glaciers are constantly moving, if you stand inside the cave, you can hear incredibly loud cracking sounds as the ice above you and the cave itself moves millimeters along the ground, from one icy hemisphere to another. In the Antarctic, you'll find frozen waves, but these waves are a result of melting, not freezing. The downward pointing spikes are simply icicles. Next to China, for the world's most colourful mountain range, the Zhangyi Danxia landform in Gansu. This magnificent display of colours is the result of red sandstone and mineral deposits being laid down for over 24 million years. Fancy a spot of scuba diving? The imaginatively named Great Blue Hole is a popular submarine sinkhole and scuba diving site just off the coast of Belize. This natural phenomenon is 124 meters deep. On Vaatu Island in the Maldives is the Sea of Stars. Beautiful bioluminescent patterns can be seen along the shore. These lights are caused by marine microbes called phytoplankton. They contain a chemical called luciferase, which has the ability to create natural biological light. If you're feeling romantic, you may want to visit the Tunnel of Love in Kleven, Ukraine. This hotspot for lovers is an active railway line engulfed in a tunnel of leaves. The tunnel was formed over many years as a train which passed through the forest 3 times a day slowly carved a tunnel through the trees. But natural wonders also come in the man-made variety, such as Fly Geyser in Nevada, located on the private Fly Ranch and cut off from tourists. This geyser is a man-made phenomenon, created from well drilling in 1964, whilst seeking sources of geothermal energy. The well was not capped correctly, and dissolved minerals started rising and accumulating. The mound beneath the geyser is still growing today, and water is constantly being released. Also man-made is the hidden beach in the Marita Islands, Mexico. This beautiful secluded beach is actually the result of bombing. The spot was bombed during target practice by the Mexican government. Chand Bayori is a famous step well in the Indian state of Rajasthan. It was constructed in 800 CE. Rajasthan state is extremely arid, and the intent of the step well was to conserve as much water as possible during the hotter months. The air constantly remains 5 to 6 degrees cooler at the bottom compared to the surface. Therefore, it was commonly used as a community gathering place for locals during periods of intense heat. Thanks for the view. Subscribe for more 42.